Hello everybody and welcome back to the Empower Hour with Molly C. Ennis. I'm so glad you're here. I'm excited for this week. We're having a very cozy vibe. So I recommend joining with a cozy vibe. That can all be mindset. Just having a cozy, comfy, I want to learn about bad bitches throughout history. That's what we're going to talk about here today. So excited to do so. I fresh out the shower. This glow comes from my girl, Cassie, at Lash in Lakeville, Massachusetts. And get scheduled. Get on the schedule. Stat. She has a deal going on. First facials in January at a discounted price. I can't remember the discount, but shout out her. She keeps me looking stunning. I wore mascara the other day and it's still under my eyes. Life of a woman. Life of a bad bitch. It's tough out here. It's tough out here sometimes. It can be tricky, but I'm joined with you, House of the Dragon, my girl Rhaenyra. Come here, Rhaenyra. Say hi. Her and Cyrax. I'm a huge fan. Huge fan of Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, the new Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Obsessed with Dunk. Obsessed with Egg. Can't wait for every Sunday now. Although they come on at 10 p.m. Girl, Mama's in bed by 9. What are we talking about? But joined here with the icons from House of the Dragon. I cannot wait for season 3 coming out this year. I will nerd out about it. Maybe I'll do a whole episode just on Queen Rhaenyra and how it's a deep reflection of the world we live in right now. Anyway, shout out her. She's always with us. I'm going to put her down here next to me with Boo Bowie. You're getting to know all of my inanimate object friends. And I love that for us because I have an older brother and we're half siblings. So I grew up an only child. And I made friends with all of my stuffed animals. I love them dearly. And I do still have quite a bit from my childhood. Some of them are given to me by my dad, so that's like very important, near and dear to my heart. But then some of them, like Boo Bowie here, I got Boo Bowie at the ripe age of 27. So just know, life is too short not to have trinkets and inanimate objects as friends. Say la vie to that. I'm bringing cozy vibes with a French 75. Shout out to my Aunti Shirley, my Earth Angel. Or I'm her Earth Angel. She got me a bracelet that called me an Earth Angel. Shout out Auntie. Shout out our dragonfly, this beautiful cup with a little French 75, little ting. Yes, get into it. Let me take a sip. Hold on. Delicious. Scrumdiddly, actually, if I'm going to be honest with you. And I always will be. But today we're having a cozy vibe. I'm in my bathrobe, fresh out the shower. We know where the glow's from. Lash in Lakeville, Massachusetts. My girl Cassie. Shout out. But I want to talk about women. That's one of my favorite topics in the whole wide world. Women. Femininity. Empowering women. I love to do it. I love to hear about it. And I want to share a little bit about it. I have a fantastic collection of books, which I'm very, very thankful for. Some from when I was in college. I minored in women and gender studies. And so a lot of my books are from then. They were books we would review in class, be able to learn from little excerpts from. And some of them were a bit high level. Not too much casual convo going on in there. But I do have a fabulous little book. It's this, yes! Bad Girls Throughout History by Ann Shen, I believe. She is an illustrator and graphic designer whose bright, colorful work has been put to work around the world. She's an LA baddie. Shout out to her. I'm trying to see if there was any anyone else to credit for the book, because it's a beautiful book. We're about to go through some of it, not all of it. Girl, we can't There's too many iconic women to go through in just 1 hour. And also, this book has 100 remarkable women. Sorry? Who changed the world? Who changed the world? Bad bitches who stuck by their values. They never let, you know, the current state of what's going on defer them from living their authentic lives. And I think that is a huge reminder we need. Joy is a part of resistance. Being able to find joy and not be like completely torn out by everything going on in the world. That is a part of resistance. Write that down, write that down, write that down. So we're going to celebrate a little bit of joy today. We're going to talk about bad girls throughout history. And always know, bad bitches is a gender inclusive term, right? When we talk about women, I'm talking all women. I'm talking the dolls. Protect those dolls. Worldwide, protect the dolls. So today, let's chit and chat through this book. This will be probably one of my like 3rd or 4th times reading through this book. I have used it for a couple things, 2 very notable things. So I am a member of Delta Phi Epsilon sorority, extremely proud to be, D Phi E, clock that, write that down, write that down. And I was a role within my chapter when I was an active member in college called Sunshine Sister. And that role is basically an individual during chapter business meetings who adds a ray of sunshine, if you will. And I will, and I did. I took that role very seriously. Very seriously. A lot of funny stories from that. But this was a book I used when I was in that role, where I shared a couple of the women that I read through this book. I then continued that when I was a consultant for my sorority, and still shared during some team meetings, some meetings just with fellow consultants, just some women from this book. And it's just my favorite thing to do, because when you share stories of women with others who are supportive, interested, intrigued, and engaged, there's just so much dynamic conversation that can come from it after. How are we benefiting from their legacies and their impact on society and culture? I love to think about it. A lot of women paved the road so women today can have the opportunities, the freedom of education, the freedom of getting a bank account without somebody's permission. I think it's a big conversation in dating. As a single woman, let me speak on that it's like there's a male loneliness epidemic I hear of. There's discourse online. But I think what we're not understanding is that women, for the first time in history, have rights and opportunities. And let me tell you, they're really engaging in them. They are really engaging in them to build themselves up, and not in a position where they need to worry about, oh, I need to lock down a husband so I can have access to things, be in a home, move out of my house. Like, we're not in the 1950s anymore. We all need to update our expectations on what it looks like for partnership, especially heterosexual. That's me dropping the mic. Update your expectations, please, and thank you. So these little pink post-its are from when I did speak on any women. I didn't want to repeat. I wanted to make sure a new woman was spoken on every time, and I'm going to leave them in there because it's just very symbolic of my time sharing it with my sister friends. Some of my most inspiring women I've ever known in my life are from Delta Phi Epsilon. So shout out my sisters worldwide. And let's make sure we always remember in our brains, right? Sister is not spelled C-I-S-T-E-R. It does not only include cisgender women. Sister includes all people. Just to be clear. Just so we're all on the same page here, girl. Without further ado, let's crack into Bad Girls Throughout History. I need to learn how to like add sounds so I can have applause or something. I'm going to do the real crazy bit. Boom, boom, boom. Like, it's just a beautiful book of visuals. And we're gonna start right here. Who's this? This is Carmen Miranda, the Brazilian bombshell. Come on, Carmen Miranda, the Brazilian bombshell. Wow. Let's show some love. I'll read a little bit about Carmen so we all can walk away knowing a little bit more about a fellow queen. Carmen Miranda, born 1909, passed in 1955, was born into a deeply Catholic family that moved from Portugal to Brazil when she was a young child. Though her mother supported Miranda's pursuits of a performance career, Miranda was beaten by her strict father after he found out she had auditioned to be on a radio show. She persisted and was soon discovered by a music producer, which led to her making records and films and becoming a Brazilian star. After 6 years of success in Brazil, Miranda was discovered by Lee Schubert, funny name, sorry, who brought her to New York to star in his Broadway musical, The Streets of Paris. She refused to go without her band, wanting to maintain the integrity of the Brazilian sound. Brazil's president, Vargas, took advantage of that opportunity to pay the band's way to America, thereby turning Miranda into an ambassador for Brazil. You better, Miranda! And I'm just loving this visual. So nice. So cute. Okay, in 1939, Miranda developed her signature look of a flowing dress and fruit and flower turban modeled after the style of the poor black girls from Bahia. She discovered the costume after appearing in a film in which she sang a song about empowering the lower social class of Afro-Brazilians. When she moved in the United States the same year, Miranda in her costume became the symbol for all of South America. The Americans drank up her exuberant personality, exotic dance moves, and rapid speech. She was quickly signed by 20th Century Fox and became an international star, making over 14 films and bringing the rhythm of samba to Technicolor life. Miranda was the first Latin woman to imprint her hands in front of Mann's Chinese theater and became the highest paid woman in the United States in 1949. You better. Unfortunately, the more she was loved by America, the more she was criticized by Brazil for becoming too Americanized, representing a stereotype of a Latina bimbo. Even the showman, Miranda, the showman, Miranda worked right up to her dying day. A recorded appearance on a 1955 episode of The Jimmy Durant Show shows her kneeling down unexpectedly, then jumping back up to finish her dance number. Durant said she reported being out of breath, and she died later that night. Okay, talk about hardworking. Talk about defining a legacy, absolutely amazing. And to balance everything that she had to balance, her ethnicity along with the opportunities that she had. I can't even, as a white woman, I obviously cannot imagine. And so I think that is a beautiful reminder of the many caveats and dynamics that our women of color have to face and always be under scrutiny for. And so shout out to all women of color. You are loved, you are seen, and you are valid as you are. 5 ever. But I really love learning about that. I did not know how iconic Carmen Miranda truly was. Love this. Oh my gosh, and we're just kicking it off. I'm squinting a lot because I don't want to wear my glasses so you don't see the green orbs. A for effort. So everybody shout out Carmen Miranda. Shout out Carmen. Thank you for being an icon. Whomst is next? Girl, we got Lilian Bland, right? Lilian Bland. Come on, Lilian. She better. She better. That's one thing about Lilian. She better. May always fly. Let's talk about it. Should I redo it like this? It's like we're in class. Is everybody in crisscross applesauce at the reading circle carpet? Anybody else have an experience like that? No? Just me? Okay. Okay, girl. No worries. We're here to talk about Lilian. Just for the first word, Irish journalist. One thing about me. Write this down. I'm Irish. I am Irish and Albanian. My mom shared on our last episode. Check it out if you haven't. Sorry, I can't, like, it feels so corny to self-promote, but that's, like, legit what you need to do, you know? Anywhoosies. My mom talked a little bit about my mom's side of the family, which is Albanian. My great-grandparents escaped communism in Albania by coming through Ellis Island to the United States. My great-grandmother's name is Thomaida. They said, Edith it is. How we made that jump, I'm not 100%. But that is the reality of a lot of immigrants during that time. Name changes. Literally just, I don't even want to call them immigration officers. People at Ellis Island just being like, no, can't pronounce that name, gotta change it. Yuck. Where's the authenticity? Makes me mad, I need a sip. Pinkies out, always. First name Molly, last name Annis. The C stands for Catherine. Start adding up, it's Irish. It's Irish as all heck. Annis, Ireland. I had a story one time told that my grandfather got his shoes shined there. And I said, okay, so we aren't like the Annis of Annis, Ireland. And they're like, no. No, but who's to say? I'm still doing my digging on Ancestry.com. Who's to say? But our girl Lilian is an Irish journalist. Yeah, an aviator. She a bad bitch. Absolute bad bitchery. Lilian Bland is an Irish journalist and aviator, born 1878 and passed in 1971. Never fit the mold for females of her era. She wore trousers. Shocking. Smoked. Practiced jujitsu. Girl, you better. And even swore a little. I know that's motherfucking right. Did she break down the barriers for me to swear like a motherfucker and still be a bad bitch? She did. Shout out my girl Lilian. Bland had a habit of adopting unconventional careers. She began as a sports and wildlife photographer for British newspapers before she was inspired by seeing Frenchman Louis, oh, here we go, I'm going to screw it up, Belria. Laugh with me, come on. I know. Because there's an accent on it. Belria. Seeing Frenchman Louis make the first flight over the English Channel in 1909. She said, I can do that. Love. Bland became the first woman to design, build, and fly her own aircraft. The Mayfly. Okay, slay. Okay, huge. Okay, gargantuan accomplishment. Hello? Where was Amelia Earhart during this time? Did they link? I hope so. Unfortunately, I don't think they did. But it was wryly named that because Bland said it may fly, may not fly. She tested and modified the glider herself when she fitted the engine into the plane before receiving the fuel tank. She improvised a tank with a whiskey bottle and an ear trumpet. Her impatience and ingenuity paid off. Just a year after she decided to build and fly a plane, she became the first woman to really do so in 1910. Bland flew over 30 feet, just a little short of the distance of Orville Wright's first flight in 1903. Bland continued to improve and fly the Mayfly until her dad, fearing for her safety, I'm screaming. Bribed her with a new car if she stopped flying. Since she felt the aircraft had reached its limits, she decided to accept the bribe, having made her point that women could also be aviators. And then married a Canadian man and moved to Vancouver, where her pioneering spirit led her to establish new farmland in wild territory. Lilian took us on a trip, just in this read, never mind the plane that she built herself and flew 30 feet. Come on now, Lilian. Come on. And I do have my computer right in front of me. I like to do that because I want to make sure I can fact check myself. And I am curious to look up real quick Amelia Earhart, her timeline, to just see how close they probably were. Hold on. I'm typing in my password wrong. Isn't that so much fun? So fun, so fresh. We're looking 1897 to 1939. Oh my God, same time frame. Is that not? I lost the page. I'm sorry. But I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with bad bitches catching the vibe that we can fly in the early 1900s. I can rock with that. I can get behind that. I rock with that. And thank you to these bad bitches for saying women can fly. Women can control a plane. A woman could build a plane. Build a plane? And that's real Irish out of a whiskey bottle. You bet. She better. And did. Boom. Opened up to a new baddie. We're going to read about her. It's our girl, Jane Austen. Pictures of perfection make me sick and wicked. Okay, Jane, you speak your truth. I'ma listen. Here's our girl, Jane. Shout out, Jane. Our audio viewers, sorry, but if you want to see what these bad bitches illustrations look like, please check out the YouTube. Love you. Thank you. So let's talk about Jane. English writer Jane Austen, born in 1775, passed in 1817, may have invented the modern romantic comedy. I know that's right. I know that's correct. Come on, Jane. The author of 6 wildly popular novels and the cult idol of a devout following who called themselves Janettes or Austenettes, Austen lived quite a life and wrote prolifically in a genre that bridged the romantic movement of her time with a fresh perspective of realism. You better challenge your stereotypes of the time, Jane. I love it. Born into a close-knit, upper-class family that had lost most of its wealth, Jane experienced firsthand the social etiquette and expectations placed upon women of the gentry. Though her creative life was steeped in romance, Austen experienced only a short-lived affair with a barrister-to-be who was equally poor and expected to marry up. So she turned to her writing. I love when a bad bitch focuses on her. She said, marriage? My books? Yeah, let's get into it. Love that. Thank you, Jane. With the help of her brother Henry, Jane's first novel, Sense and Sensibility, was published when Jane was 36. She chose to publish it anonymously with the byline, by a lady. Ooh. In fact, all her work was published as by a lady during her lifetime. Royalty and literary scholars alike became fans of her work, and she sold enough books near the end of her life to support herself, her mother, and her sister. Obsessed. Obsessed with a bad bitch who gives back to her family. Obsessed with an icon who recognizes where she came from and gives back. Obsessed with that. But we ain't done yet. After a brief hiatus, Austen's books have continuously been in print since 1833. Your books are actively being printed for over almost 200 years. Almost. Not there yet. I know how to do math, but damn close. Damn close, we're in 2026. What are we talking about? In 1869, her nephew's publication of A Memoir of Jane Austen finally revealed her as the author of her novels. Better. Her work remains deeply influential on pop culture, as much as it was when it was very first published, and has spawned continuous adaptations, rewrites, and sequels, including the famous modern-day versions of Pride and Prejudice, You Know, and Emma in Clueless. I don't know what the parentheses say Clueless after Emma, so shout out. I don't know why I'm shouting out. Austen's stories retain a cult status equal to Shakespeare in timelessness and reinvention. Jane, you better. I'm only really familiar with Pride and Prejudice, so shout out. Sense and Sensibility, I'd love to read. I'm not a reader, but I will try. I always do try. But I have too many books I need to read. But Jane Austen has always been a very iconic writer, and I think the way she wrote about yearning before it was like trending, she invented yearning, maybe? And Pride and Prejudice, I think she definitely did. So deeply obsessed with her, with that. Consider me gagged. We're gonna do a couple more baddies. Baddies, bad girls throughout history. Yeah. Maya Angelou. Yep. Now, talk about books you need to read. The quote on her image says, "You've got to go out and kick ass." You gotta. What do you mean you're not? You gotta. Maya said so. So you gotta and you better. Look at this beautiful full page as a tribute. Many consider Maya Angelou, born in 1928, passed in 2014, a United States national treasure. The many are correct. The many are correct there. A writer, activist, filmmaker, actor, and lecturer well into her 80s, Angelou transcended her humble upbringing in a deeply racist Arkansas to create a vast body of work that helped change the landscape of American culture. After a traumatic childhood event that she would later chronicle in her game-changing memoir, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, Angelou became extraordinarily gifted in arts and literature and earned a scholarship to a San Francisco high school. As a teen, she became the first African-American female cable car conductor in San Francisco. You better! In high school, already breaking down barriers, being the change she wanted to see in the world. I'm obsessed. She became a mom at 16 and married a Greek aspiring musician, flouting the existing laws forbidding interracial marriage. Angelou studied dance with legendary choreographer Alvin Ailey and became a staple on the calypso music and dance scene as a performer. She also toured Europe with a production of the opera Porgy and Bess. Shout out. I'm going to stop saying that. After meeting novelist John Oliver Killens in 1959, she joined the Harlem Writers Guild and published her first written work. She became a civil rights activist and worked alongside Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. Angelou would go on to write 36 books, earning the honor of both being on the banned books list, because they cannot handle the bad bitchery, and holding the record for the longest-running nonfiction book on the New York Times bestseller list. In addition to roles in producing, writing, and directing film and television, Angelou became the first African-American woman to pen a screenplay that was actually made into a film, the Pulitzer Prize-nominated Georgia, Georgia. She won 3 Grammys for her spoken word albums and served on 2 presidential committees. I did not know that. That's amazing. Lost My Place, One Moment, presidential committees, and became the first female poet to compose and recite a poem for the presidential inauguration, which was President Bill Clinton's in 1993. Showered with accolades at the end of her life, Angelou was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor by President Barack Obama in 2010. Angelou was fittingly recognized in her lifetime for her work that opened America's hearts and minds. When I think of Maya Angelou, I definitely think of somebody who, when you read her work, it absolutely takes you to a whole different world. It takes you to the most intimate parts of her mind and her soul, and you get a chance to see and learn from it. And any quote I hear of her, I'm just like, wow. Wow, 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 wow. It's unbelievable, consistently inspiring. And what did we say here? What was the beginning? A national treasure? That's correct. Okay. Bubba, I didn't even pay you to do this. If you have never in your life listened to her speak, oh my God. The way she can command a room with the softness of her voice. Her voice is fantastic. Like, I could just listen to her talk forever. Next baddie we're gonna review. Who is it? This one? That's what we're talking about next. That's it. Marie, the first woman to win the Nobel Prize. Not once, twice. Twice. Let's learn about our girl, Marie, not Mary. Marie Curie? Is that how I should be saying it? Pause. But I was looking up how to properly pronounce Marie Curie, as in French. But Marie Curie is proper pronunciation. Whoa! Let's talk about her. Let's learn about Marie. Oh, Bubba, do you want to learn about Marie? Then you need to pay attention. A Polish physicist and chemist, Marie Curie, born 1867, passed in 1934, was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize and the first person to win it twice. Clock that, first person to win it twice. In 2 different sciences. You better. She started her studies in an underground floating university in Warsaw because Polish colleges were then men only. So that's why bad bitches go to college. Because they can. Because they can. Okay? Because they can. Yeah. Also, just a side note, if there's ever a man who's like mad that they're not as educated as a woman, you have every opportunity to. Just as much. You and your men have had it for generations. Don't be mad. Get to studying. Anywhoosies. Making her way to Paris, Curie earned a master's degree in physics and mathematics from the Sorbonne, all while subsitting on buttered bread and tea and tutoring at night to pay her way through school. The sacrifice for her education. Curie stayed in Paris after she was rejected for work at Krakow University because she was a woman. That was it. Just because she was a woman. There she met her perfect match in fellow physicist Frenchman Pierre Curie. That was pretty good. And together they furthered her work in radioactivity, a term that she coined. She came up with that. Yeah. And discovered 2 new elements named, okay girl, polonium, after her native land, and radium. In 1903, together they won the first Nobel Prize in physics. Tragedy struck when her husband was killed by a horse-drawn wagon in 1906. Despite her grief, she took over his teaching position at the Sorbonne and became the first female professor. In 1911, at the age of 44, she won her second Nobel Prize in chemistry. When World War I broke out, Curie established the first on-site radiology centers to help surgeons in the field. She founded 2 Curie Institutes in Paris and in Warsaw, which are still major medical research labs today. Curie overcame many barriers in her community to achieve history, making success, and even then still stayed underground. Albert Einstein was quoted as saying that she was probably the only person who could not be corrupted by fame. Okay, icon. Humble icon. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Women in STEM. First, she paved the way for women in STEM. So shout out to women in STEM. And shout out Marie Curie. Y'all, I'm having a blast. I'm enjoying this quite a lot, and I hope that's coming through. I have my little dog with me. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? She just... because she wants scratches. So now watch when I move my hand away. Right. She doesn't like that. She wants it back. But now I'm busy. Oh, no, I can't be busy. But what if I do? Oh, Now I am in a permanent position where I have to pet my dog. Oh, no. My steak is too juicy. My lobster is too buttery. I have to rub my, cuddle my dog. I'm mad thankful. I'm mad thankful for this right now. This moment right here with you. Cheers. Ting, ting. Ting. Who is next? Who is next? Oh my God, let's find out. 1, 2, 3, whoever I open. Boom. Who's this? Okay. We're meeting Norma Sheerer? Sure. Norma Sheerer played the wild and free single girl. Call me Norma Sherma, you know what I mean? Sure. Sure, not Sherma. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Misspoke. Let's learn about Norma. She is a Canadian born as of 1902, passed in 1983, and used her sheer determination and charm to overcome the fact that she didn't fit the Hollywood ideal of beauty to become one of the leading ladies at MGM in the 1930s. Before that, she emerged from riches to rags childhood with fearless courage to pursue her acting dreams. Even when faced with years of bit parts, small ads, and being called a dog, who the fuck, by Florence Ziegfeld? I have no kind words for Florence Ziegfeld. First of all, look at your name. Second of all, who are you calling a dog? You sound like a hater. Florence. Also, it's, Florence. Florenz. Get a grip. What are we talking about? After she met him for a role in the Ziegfeld Follies. Call her a dog? You better watch it. It's my girl Norma. Watch your mouth. Sheerer finally got a ticket to Hollywood in 1923 when her role in a B movie caught Louis B. Mayer's attention and landed her a contract. In 2 years, she went from being a contract player to one of MGM's biggest stars. Suck on that, Florence. Often playing the roles of a spunky, sexually liberated ingenue. Often playing the role of a spunky, sexually liberated ingenue. Do I know what that word means? Not 100%. So we're going to pause. And we're going to do what? Use my computer in front of me to look it up. So I can make sure I'm saying it right. And also clock what it means. Because I don't know pronunciation. Let's see. Ingenue. Okay. Come on, ingenue. Ingenue, an innocent or unsophisticated young woman, especially in a play or film. I don't know if I care that we have a word for that. I don't know if I love that there's a word for an unsophisticated young woman. Watch your mouth. She was a sexually liberated bad bitch. That's what she was. That's right. Sheerer was the first American actress to make it socially acceptable to portray a single woman who was not a virgin on screen. I need us to think of how far we have come. She passed in 1983. When was her first film? Pause. I'm pulling up her IMDb to really get it correct. Oh, she won a beauty contest at the age of 14 and this mother effer called her a dog? I'm sick to my stomach. Sick. Okay. Earliest one came out 1930. Next one, 1939. Called The Divorcee. 1939 is The Women. 1939 again, Idiot's Delight. 1932, Strange Interlude. Those are all her movies, so shout out. 1930s. It's the first time it was acceptable to see a single woman who is not a virgin on screen. Sit with that for a minute. When was it for men? Oh, it never was. Anyway, exceptionally savvy with her career, Sheerer was timeless in her work commitment. She practiced her best angles in front of the mirror, worked with an eye doctor to uncross her eyes, and trained her voice for 2 years to get it ready for the talkies. What is that? And it was ready. Her first talkie was a huge success and set the bar for actresses who followed. She was one of the few actors who transitioned seamlessly from silent films to talkies. That's what talkies are. Films where people talk. They called it talkies. Okay. Okay, girls, the 1930s, we gotta be... okay. Sheerer took boudoir photos to convince her studio VP husband that she could be cast as the sensual lead in The Divorcee, just like we talked about, in a role that led to her first Oscar win. Yes. When the 1930 Motion Picture Production Code, a guideline of industry moral standards that were enforced by the Motion Picture Association of America, when that came into effect, she evolved again, becoming a serious actress who took on heavy-hitting roles in period dramas. Over the course of her 23-year career, she was nominated for 8 Oscars. Norma? You better, Norma. I'm... like, that fact of just, like, being the first woman who's single and not a virgin, and that being groundbreaking, breaks my heart. It shouldn't be groundbreaking. Virginity is also a social construct. Don't even get me started on it. But, like, I get so angry learning about the history of women and how little opportunity they had before, I'd say, the third wave of feminism, which only wrapped up recently. I think we're entering a fourth wave. That should be much more intersectional and internationally concerned. This is not that podcast. This is not that episode for me to get into it. Don't let me start, but also I will start. I'll do that. I'll do whatever I want. Because I'm a woman and I can. Truly just the privilege of being able to do whatever I want. I understand it as such a privilege because less than 100 years ago, and I'm just talking about white ladies, it's even darker history for our women of color, for our sisters of color. And it shouldn't be, but it is. A lot of white ladies fuck that up. I'm trying to be like a good white lady like Jane Fonda, who keeps her foot on the neck of social justice forever. Love Jane Fonda. She gets arrested, been arrested multiple times for standing up for peace. That's a bad bitch. That's a good woman. And I like that white lady. I would like to be like her. So shout out Jane Fonda. You inspire me a lot. And there's many progressive white ladies that inspire me a lot. But looking back at history, some of our most known white ladies who made some change, I'm talking Susan B. Anthony, lacked inclusion, were racist, not okay. And I think we need to acknowledge those bits in history because That's the whole point of learning from history, so we do not repeat it. I feel crazy saying that, especially right now with everything going on in the world. But that's the truth tea of it all. We have to learn from the vile mistakes made prior. And these aren't mistakes, they're ignorance. I shouldn't say mistakes. They are pure ignorance. We cannot live in ignorance anymore. We cannot assume people's lived experiences and group them all together, because that is trying to see things through an equal lens. I'm going to push back. We need to start looking at things from an equitable lens. Equity is different than equality. Equity is making sure those who do not have the resources, the same amount of resources to start, they're given those. They are given the opportunities they need to catch up, to make some reparations. I believe in reparations. Faux show. We just have so far to go still before we are fully inclusive of all women, no matter when they became a woman, how they became a woman, how they identify as a woman, any of that, no matter their race, no matter their religion, their ethnicity, any of it. Woman is a woman, and we celebrate and love her. And that's it. And that's fucking it. You don't pick and choose. If you're going to fight for rights, you fight for all of them, or shut up. Don't shut up. Educate yourself. I shouldn't say shut up. Educate yourself is what I will say. Educate yourself on your unconscious bias, because we all have it. We're born with it. Educate yourself on your privilege, whether it is due to your race or gender. Unpack it. Get uncomfortable for a minute, and then you're going to be very comfortable when it comes to being the change you want to see in the world. Pretty good. Bars. Kind of bars. Kind of hope it's resonating with some bad bitches who may need it. To you, in furthering your education and understanding of privilege and unconscious bias, so you can show up better for your community. To you. And to me. Also, continuing that education. I started, but I ain't stopping. I have never hit a point where I'm like, I know everything I need to know, and I'm done. That's ignorant as fuck. That's not the gag we want. We want to be able to continue learning. We want to evolve to be the best version of ourselves. And that is through taking time to be intentional with what you absorb, how you understand things, how you give grace and understanding to other people and things. It comes through practice. People are going to make mistakes. People are that is just how life goes. People make mistakes. It's about if they take accountability and don't repeat it. Life has taught me many lessons. That's one of them. And I'm happy to share that with you. But I'm also forever learning, so I'm happy to share more that I learn with you. That's like truly the joy and enjoyment that I'm having with this, the Empower Hour, with everything that we're talking about and being about here today. I'm going to finish with one more icon. And then we'll start wrapping up. I'm sad. I'll miss you guys until next week. Love you. Cheers. Who will be our final baddie of the evening? Let's find out. Let's find out by doing it like that. Okay. Helen Gurley Brown. Come on, Helen. Helen. And what are the words around you? Oh, good girls go to heaven. Bad girls go everywhere. Helen. I think I like you, Helen. Would you like to learn about Helen? Oh, my good girl. Thank you. Helen Gurley Brown, born in 1922, passed in 2012, was an editor-in-chief of Cosmopolitan magazine for more than 32 years. Pause. I was not familiar with the game here. Transforming it into a guide of a fun, sexy, fearless life for single girls. True. She worked at more than 17 secretarial jobs before advancing as an ad agency copywriter. She was so good that she became one of the highest paid copywriters in the 1960s, in a job few women held. That's right. In 1961, at the age of 40, she published her first book, Sex and the Single Girl, which openly encouraged single women to embrace careers, financial independence, and sex lives before marriage. It was the first of its kind. Where's this book? Where is this book? Helen, I need a copy. Helen, I need a copy. Helen, I need to read this book. I'm feeling deeply inspired. In 1965, she made the leap to top dog at Cosmopolitan. Brown coined the term mouseburger I'm unfamiliar with that term. To describe women like herself, who were born not particularly pretty, smart, or talented, and who didn't have a fancy education or highbrow family background. And she spoke to these women. Her message: the way to get what you want out of life is not through a man. Let me grab this mic real close to make sure we're all on the same page. But through your career. Set your mind to something and work really hard to get it. Oh, and you should definitely have a lot of fun on the way up. And not wait for marriage to bring you that happy ending. I need her book. I'm going to find the book. I'm going to fold the page so I can find the book. I would love to read that book. There are so many women who are making their first impacts in their 30s and 40s, who are not rushing public, like they just allowed themselves to grow into the individual that they're most proud of, to be able to publish the book that they feel like. I just love that. I think we all, especially nowadays, get so stuck in timelines. I am in my late 20s. Ooh. Even saying that. Whoa. What do you mean by that? Nothing good. And I think there is so many different paths people are going on right now. And it can sometimes feel like, am I on my own right path? Because I'm not really going at the same speed as anybody else in their respective areas. And I'm learning how okay that really is, and how to celebrate myself, and how I've come so far from where I personally started. My journey is a very career-focused one. And so that really resonates with me. But the gag is feminism. That's right. Clock in. Bella, pay attention, girl. It's about giving women the chance to live their life how they want to. It's not about only having one choice for women, being a homemaker, and never doing that ever again. If that's how a woman feels fulfilled, whomst am I to say? I love when baddies get to live life in their own accord, their own way. That's a beautiful part of life. We need to celebrate that constantly. We need to remember, not everybody's going to have the same path as me. Not everybody has the same goals as me. Not everybody has, most 99.99999% of people do not have the same anything. This is your life. Live your life in ways that are beautiful and meaningful to you. Find the beauty that matches for you. Don't worry about a man, Eva, or a partner. Do not spend your life needing a partner and waiting for that to fall into place before you live for yourself. Live for you. Live for you, girl, king, icon, bad bitch, whomsoever is clocked in here. Live for you. I've had a hoot. I've had fun. I am obsessed with reading this book with you all. I've really enjoyed that. I thought that was a lot of fun to be able to chit-chat about bad bitches and be in our cozy vibes, in our bathrobes, cozy mindset, cozy. Bella joined. We had special guest Bubba. I just really appreciate the chance to speak on things that really matter to me. And women, and recognizing their greatness throughout history, matters a lot to me. I am so deeply thankful that in 5th grade, one of my best friends today, shout out Sarah, in 5th grade, we started learning. I think it was quite literally like pilgrim time. And just stating the facts of like, women couldn't just like do whatever they wanted. No. And I remember me and my girl saying, I have a question, teacher. Why the fuck not? Why not? Why wouldn't they? Women can do anything. Why wouldn't they be able to? Help me understand that. And the answer was, that's just how it was during that time. Which is true. But deeply unacceptable for me, ever. And so that's why, you saw me getting a little irritated. It's because women have had to force their way into all of these areas to show and prove that we are able to do it. It's a beautiful thing to realize how far we have come, but it is also the reality that we still have so far to go. Hey, girl. Give me 5. Right. And I really appreciate the bad bitches who are listening. I extra appreciate the men who want to learn more, who maybe want to learn from my perspective a little bit, who maybe are willing to hear what I have to say. I haven't had that a lot with men in life, so I really appreciate that. And I hope that you can be conscious in your friend groups in how they speak of women and truly make sure they're using empowering language, respectful language, and not just respectful for women you find attractive. Every time I get to post is an opportunity to hopefully reach somebody who needs to hear some reminders of their worth, maybe some guidance on their own education. If you listen to some things and you're like, oh my God, I actually had no idea about that. That's a beautiful thing to say. I can learn more about it now. We have Google and it's free. And I challenge you to finish any Google search with a -AI to try to avoid getting the AI answers and just trusting those. Don't always trust those. Go to a link. Go to a source. And then also, I learned this. We're going to have, unfortunately, when we Google search something, it's the AI, the sponsored links, and then the real first links that were to come up. Skip the AI and sponsored links and go to the real link. That's the first one. So you can probably learn from the direct source that everything else is pulling from. Truth tea. What a fun time I had today with you all. I love you. I hope you take care of yourself. I empower you to educate yourself on any areas that you did not hear today. And I also want to plug, maybe, the monks that are traveling. They started in Texas. They are walking their way to Washington, D.C. for humanity, as a reminder, as a sign that we need peace in this world. Their journey is incredible, and they live stream their speeches and the things they talk about every night. It's amazing, and I recommend looking them up on either TikTok or Instagram or Facebook or whatever social media platform. I'm pretty sure they're everywhere, but their story is amazing. Their dog, Aloka, I will cry. I actually can't. Because I see this little dog and I say, oh my God. Just like it's really beautiful. It's really moving, and I really recommend checking it out. But that is all I have for today. Thank you so much for spending time with me. I appreciate it so deeply, so dearly. At the bottom of my heart, I hope you learned a little something new. I know I definitely did, which I love. And now, my little chicken and I are going to go have some dinner, and I'm going to crochet a little. I appreciate you all. I'll see you soon. Say bye, Bubba. Arrivederci. Oh, good job, Bella.